Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my Level Up family. We are at the beginning of 2023, and together we are going to make this our best year yet. So last week we went over a few things to start your year off right, to start your year off strong. So those things we're reflecting on last year, letting things go, like knowing when to release and surrender, determining your why, upgrading your habits, setting goals, and taking massive action. So, we talk about change all the time. Remember, change is the only constant. Like, change is inevitable. If nothing changes, right? And we are here to change. We are here to evolve, and we're here to level up. So this week, we're going to talk about 7 things to transform you in the new year. Like, you apply these things to your life, honestly, you're not even going to know who you are probably in 2 months, in 3 months, because these things are actually so easy to do, but they're so easy not to do. You must be intentional. But the results of these are so big. So number 1, manage your time. Like, we all have 24 hours in a day. I don't have more. Somebody else doesn't have more than me. You don't have less than anybody else. It's managing that time. So often people think they're overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much going on. And here's the truth. You aren't overwhelmed. You're unorganized. Like, that's sometimes really hard to hear. We think we're overwhelmed when we're not managing our time correctly. And I am a really big believer in how you do anything is how you do everything. So when it comes to your business, are you working consistently and building success, or are you unorganized with your time? Have poor time management and basically scramble to get things done or meet a deadline. And so let's have let's have an honest moment here right now. Let's be really honest. Do any of you have the mindset from time to time, like, I'll pull it off. I know I'm going to get it done. And here's the reality. Maybe that's true for where you are. But here's the truth. You aren't expanding with that mindset. Most people, when they're going through, whether it's business, whether it's health, whether it's exercise, whether it's whatever, any type of habit, they'll go like Mach 10 to get a goal met. And then they take their foot off the gas and they're like coasting, only to finding themselves on a hamster wheel of fast coasting. And at the same time, they're like wondering why they're not advancing in life. They're not getting healthier. They're not getting wealthier. They're not getting more successful. And that's because all they're really doing is working really hard to just keep what they created, because they're not managing their time and working consistently. It comes down to managing your time. Wake up earlier. The most successful people are up before anyone else. And here's the thing, it adds hours to your day. So if we say we all have 24 hours in a day, and that maybe you could get up at 5 or 6 and have more productive hours than somebody who's going to sleep till 8 or 9, you've got the edge on other people. Not only hours, right? But it's quality hours. It's quality hours when you're waking up early. It's like the beginning of the day. It's calmer. You have clarity. You get to set the tone of your day. You get to set the tone of your energy. So with time management, also create to-do lists, like hold yourself accountable. So in other words, until this is done, you fill it in. Like, you can't do this. You're not going here. Or if you have plans to go somewhere with your friends, this is going to get done, and I'm not going until then. And you guys, I could use actually today as an example. I had a really busy few days and had plans last night. And I always make notes for my upcoming podcasts beforehand. I got up today and I was like, wow, I'm recording today and I don't have a podcast planned. And you guys, what sometimes takes me a little bit sitting there with notes, it's amazing when you hold yourself accountable because I'm like, it's going to be done today by 11 a.m. or I'm not doing what I actually didn't let myself have lunch till I was done also. So it's like, you make the to-do list and you manage your time. So don't put off the important for the urgent. Laundry isn't urgent. Putting out fires isn't urgent. Scrolling definitely isn't urgent. Important are the tasks that move your life forward. They move your success forward. Set deadlines when it comes to time management. And that's one of the best things I ever did my first year in business, because setting goals and setting deadlines and creating urgency, it was part of who I was as a person, but I never professionally really had to apply these tasks in such a major way. So for me, I set 24 and 48-hour deadlines for myself. Why? Because I wanted to learn to be better with my time, manage my time better, make every single hour count. And so I would set 24 to 48-hour goals, and they were big goals. And now, when I say big goals, it was still 24 to 48 hours. So it wasn't insane. And it was the beginning of my journey, but it did require a different level of me. So what I was doing was I was mentally preparing myself for the huge pushes. So let's say I set a deadline for myself to create $2,000 in sales in 24 hours. And I'm just making up that number. And it was a variety of different goals. Okay. But mentally, I made up my mind that $2,000 in sales represented growing to the very top. And so I would tell myself over and over, if you were only $2,000 away from that really gigantic goal, would you do it in 24 hours? And the answer over and over again was hands down, of course you would, Deb. Of course you would. Of course you would. And so no one told me to set those deadlines. I did it in the dark myself with insane discipline. So my friends, here's the reality. No one is going to save you. No one is going to hand you success on a platter. You know, you could make dream boards of all you want, and I'm really big about that. But it's having that vision, but then doing your part. No one is going to do this for you. And once you take 100% responsibility for your success and for your growth, what happens is the world expands, and so do you. Stick to your schedule. That goes in with time management. If you have time set aside to do something, do it. Like, so for example, if you have 2 hours put aside to work your business, or, 30 minutes to read, or 30 minutes to exercise. If you have time put aside, do it. It builds your character. It builds influence. It really builds discipline, you guys, because especially like I'm an entrepreneur. If I set time aside and I don't do it, nobody sees it. Nobody's breathing down my neck. I have no one that I have to hold that accountable to in that time frame. Because you could have the time, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. That's where procrastination comes in, right? And goes back to what we're saying. You learn how to manage your time. You're going to expand and develop into the next level of you. It builds confidence. It grows your leadership. Being organized is professional. So, and today we're talking about 7 areas to develop to transform you. So managing your time is huge. We all have the same exact 24 hours in a day. So what separates us is how we treat the time. Average are busy all day long. They're scurrying, they're busy, and they get nothing done. Focused leaders can accomplish more in an hour than others can accomplish in a week. And I don't even know if that's a real statistic. I kind of made that up or said it, but I believe it. Like, so often we think, oh gosh, how long have you been doing this? Or how long have you been building this? It's not the days. It's not the hours. It's not it's what you've been doing in that time. Because you could be doing something for a year, but if you've been mostly wasting time, you haven't really been doing it for a year, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Number 2 out of the 7, focus on one thing. Here's the thing. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to be focused. Take a real look at where you are. Take a look at where you desire to be at the end of the year, because the gap between where you are and where you desire to be. I mean, we know that that bridge is discipline, but that gap is called focus. When you know, we set our January goals. We talk about success. We talk about a promotion. We talk about the next level. And then all of a sudden life happens. Oh my gosh. And then we use that as an excuse. So try this next time you choose your excuse over your best life. I want you to repeat this. It just wasn't a priority to me. So for example, you declare a level, a level that you're leading your team to, right? So you're taking your business to the next level. Maybe it's a trip that you're going to go for in your company. Maybe it's a monetary amount that you decide to earn. Maybe it's a bonus. Who knows what it is? And then life happens. You're distracted and you attempt to share an excuse. Because here's the thing, we know this. Leaders don't make excuses. Amateurs make excuses. Okay. You can make excuses or you can make money. You can't make both. So when you're attempted to share an excuse, simply say, it just wasn't a priority to me. And this may be hard to hear, but it's the truth, right? Stay focused on what you want. Do something every day to move the needle forward. Focus your attention on the one goal that is most important to you. Because most people, what they're doing is they're focusing on a bunch of different things. And it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. And they're giving maybe 10% of their energy here and 5% of their energy here and 20% of their energy there, only to end up in the same place. Instead of thriving and meeting this goal, they end up kind of surviving and keeping everything afloat. And so often we think, well, I don't just want to have one goal or focus on one thing because I have so many things that I want to accomplish. Right. But this goes back to how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you made your one goal to take your business to the next level, okay, and you are focused on that 100%, mark my words, in that, you're going to create more discipline. You're going to meet other goals. You're going to get healthier. All of these things, because in order for you to create that, so many other goals are just going to happen in line with that, if that makes sense. Okay. Number 3, make gradual improvements. So that's like the slight edge, doing a little bit, a little bit, a little. Now, I'm all about the big leap. I'm all about you could go from 0 to Mach 10. I am. However, what people do is when they feel paralyzed in that situation, they just sit there. They just sit and they're not doing anything. But we're talking about 7 things to really transform you this year. Make gradual improvements. You cannot become the best version of you with small thinking habits. You can't be a level 10 with level 1 habits. If you aren't reading, I'm sorry, you're not growing. I love the way people say to me, I don't really need to read books. Like I do a book club and some people say, like, that's enough. I don't need to read or I've read this book, whatever. If you're not reading, you're not growing. Period. The end. It's actually that simple. So start reading 10 pages a day. Start exercising with a 10-minute walk. Start eating healthy. Every day, get a little bit better. If you focus on just 1% better every day. Now, it sounds ridiculous to say only 1%, my friends, but here's the reality. If you're not focusing on getting better, if you're not moving the needle forward, you're either staying where you are or you're declining. You're staying where you are or you're declining. So when we're moving forward and we're committing to that 1%, it does compound. It's called the slight edge. Work your business a little bit more every day. Commit to adding more to your calendar a little bit every day. Transforming yourself requires changing your habits. Number 4, look at everything with a positive mindset. You guys, this alone will change you. It will change the way you see life. It will change the way you see people. It will change the way you see your success. Like so often we know this. We focus on what we don't want. We focus on what's not going right. We focus on what people are not doing. We focus on what's not working in a relationship. When you look at everything with a positive mindset through eyes of gratitude, this alone will transform your entire life. Know that every single thing happens for us. There is always lessons. So I want you to ask yourself these questions when something arises. What am I in control of? Because there are things that happen that are out of your control, right? How can I be better? So when a result happens that you don't love, maybe a goal you've set that you didn't meet. And we talked about this last week to kind of reflect on last year. So if you have a goal that you set, maybe you didn't meet it, like instead of looking at it through negative eyes or scarcity eyes or blaming eyes or justifying eyes, I want to call on your greatness. How can I be better? How could I have gotten a better result? What could I have worked harder? Could I have done more? We know that the answer to this is always yes. Okay. When we don't meet a goal, we know this. We either didn't want it bad enough or we tried to bargain with the price. So how can I be better? How can I create a better outcome? This again ties back to ownership. It's so freeing. Like leaders don't blame. Leaders don't justify. Leaders don't make excuses. Leaders aren't negative. They're not. So how can I create a better outcome? A roadblock, an obstacle, an adversity. It's only as big as our mindset. Like we see something. There was this meme that I once saw, and I think it was like an elephant tied to a chair. And he was like standing there and like wanting to get out. And he was like, in his mind, he was tied to the chair. It was one of those like plastic chairs that you would like see at the dollar store or something. And he saw it as something big because he was tied. But the reality was he was 10 times bigger than the chair and he could easily just walk away from it, right? So, but he saw it as something big, so he was strapped to the chair. A roadblock is only as big as your mindset. Focus on gratitude. Build your millionaire mindset. See the good in everyone. Speak only of what you want. Be the difference in every conversation. Be the light. Lead your team to positivity. Show up with amazing energy. Number 5. Create and build a high value network. Your network equals your net worth in everything. It's not just about doing business with these people. It's about doing life with these people. And this is something we go over and over and over. Evolution designed humans to get along with one another for survival, which means we adapt habits, mindset, traits of those around us. We become a sum of the 5 people we hang around with the most. I mean, really think about this. Most healthy people have a healthy group of friends. Okay. And most people that dress really well and sharp, and you guys, this doesn't have to come with money. You can dress well on a budget, but I mean people who like really respect them. Look at the group of friends they hang around with. Chances are it's the exact same thing. So I see it every single day. Those who aren't growing in their business are hanging out with people who also aren't growing, period. Period. Those who are on fire hang out with those that are on fire. Those who have a tendency to be negative hang out with people who are negative. Those who are going backwards in their success hang around with those who are going backwards. They're going backwards together, and then they justify, and then they blame, and then they make each other feel good. It's amazing that deep down people desire success, but they're okay in an average low vibe atmosphere. Look at successful people. Bottom line, reduce time with people who hold you back and increase time with those who pull you forward. And people say, but they're my friends. I'm not saying break off the relationship. I'm saying go spend time with people who are where you want to be, who are having bigger conversations, who will challenge you, who, when you're not doing your best, will literally pull you aside and say, what are you doing? You set this goal. And hold you accountable. But you're not going to find somebody who's not in a great place to do that because they're not holding themselves accountable. Why would they hold you accountable? And if they attempt to hold you accountable, it's so out of integrity because you know darn well they're not doing anything. Okay. So reduce time with people who hold you back, increase time with those people who pull you forward. Number 6, work with focus and intention. Your focus is key. It's everything. Your focus makes you money or it costs you money. I mean, that's pretty powerful. Think about that. What you focus on expands. If you're going to focus on lack, it's costing you money because that's going to expand. If you're going to focus on abundance and gratitude and solution-based and time management and discipline, what's going to happen? How you spend your time is your investment. There's this thing called opportunity cost, right? What are you doing with your time? Because time is money. How are you investing in your future? The way you spend your days is how you're investing in your future. You're either investing in your future or you're not. You're adding to your success bank account or you're depleting it. How are you investing in your success? Block off time. Treat your success like you are the CEO of the most successful business on the planet. That's how you create it. Treat your time like you would want someone who worked for you to treat their time. So when you really think about what you do in a day, if you were paying someone, let's take whatever it is you earn a month, okay? And let's say you were paying somebody that amount of money and they were doing what you're doing. Is it worth every single dollar? Are you underpaying them or are you overpaying them? Focus on one thing. Remove distractions. Put your phone away. Close the door. Get into deep work and focus. And the reality is that's going to put you 90% ahead of other people. These are the little things, you guys, like the slight edge, managing your time, the habits, the people, all these things. They're really easy to do. They're also really easy not to do. And then we look up at the end of 2023 and we're like, where the heck did the year go? What did we do with our time? Because we're having this conversation at the beginning of the year so you can transform your success, transform your result, and level up. Number 7, find your purpose. So your purpose is everything. It's direction. It's a clear path. It's how we live a fulfilled life. Everything changes when we find our purpose. So really think about your purpose this week, okay? And I'm going to leave this part of it short and brief because there's so much that I want to talk about with finding your purpose, knowing your purpose, and the power of your purpose. So we are going to expand on it and talk about it in next week's podcast. So have some fun diving into it this week because we're going to go over all of it next week. So that's your homework for this week. What is your purpose? What is it? Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? What is your meaning in this world? Because the reality is we all have gifts and our job is to leave this world a better place. And when we know our purpose, everything we do, it's still effort. But again, it goes back to the inspired action. It feels effortless because we have a calling and it's leading us towards our purpose. And one of those is everybody has the ability to change lives. And we do that when we know our purpose. So I'm wishing you all the most amazing, amazing week. Already happy new year. I think we're 2 weeks into, or a week and a half into 2023. We have a lot of incredible things happening this year. So I love you, friends. See you next week.